In the quiet hours before dawn, when the house was still, the kids asleep, and the world outside unaware, Jennifer Garner sat alone with a folder she had never expected to open. It was thin, almost deceptively so. But inside, it held the pages that would fracture the life she had spent years holding together with patience, hope, and the kind of stubborn love she had believed could outlast anything. For months, Jennifer had sensed that something was wrong. The distance. The late-night calls. The vague explanations that seemed to crumble as soon as she tried to make sense of them. She wasn't looking for proof, but when the truth found her, it did so ruthlessly. Inside the folder were documents, communications, receipts, messages that painted a story she had never been told. A story of choices made in the shadows, trust quietly cracked, and struggles he had hidden even from himself. It was realizing how long she had been fighting for a version of him that he didn't know how to be anymore. Jennifer sat back, her hands trembling only slightly, and let the weight of the truth settle. She had spent years trying to keep the world from collapsing around her family. She had absorbed the storms, quieted the chaos, shielded the children, and offered grace where others would have walked away without looking back. But what she saw in those files wasn't just disappointment, it was revelation. For the first time in a long time, the story was painfully, unmistakably clear. The divorce wasn't just the result of complications or incompatibilities. It wasn't fate or failure or some Hollywood inevitability. It was the final consequence of secrets too heavy to carry and wounds too deep to ignore. When she finally closed the folder, Jennifer didn't cry. She didn't speak. She simply stood, straightened her shoulders, and let out one long exhale, one that sounded like release. The path forward was no longer tangled in hope or hesitation. For the first time, Jennifer could see the truth without looking for excuses or explanations. A strength she would need for the conversations ahead. A strength that would carry her through the storm of public scrutiny. A strength that would remind her who she was long before the world knew her as anyone's wife. When the divorce papers were finally filed, headlines exploded. Speculation ran rampant. But only she knew the real story, the private unraveling, the quiet nights of worry, the discovery that had changed everything.